Welcome back to Red, White, and You, the podcast that talks about all things pertaining to all Americans, um, and mostly from the perspective of, tax and insurance, but pretty much everything.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jacob.
A little early.
Yeah, I'll say.
So,
How'd you sleep in that windstorm?
it was fine. I actually turned my TV on and put a fireplace on my TV and slept to relax me. So I slept fine.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. We got branches down. We got torrential downpour. It was terrifying.
Yeah. When we got home from work, both of us probably you guys got tornado sirens, right? Yeah. It was like within
the
the first.
iPhone. I got the iPhone alert.
We had ours going. Boardman had the sirens going for tornadoes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even hear it.
Yeah. They sent 3 off and it was a lot.
Sheesh.
But it's like Twisters.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I know that.
Yeah.
Don't you have a crush on the main character or something in Twisters?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I do not.
Who was that?
Which one?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
What do you want to go over today?
yeah, let me bring this in. Well, what do you say? Did I ever tell you the story behind that?
Only about 32 times.
See, you want to hear it again?
I do not want to hear it again.
Well, as you know, how's this sound? Does this sound good? You hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
I'm getting some signals. What are you saying? Oh. All right. Yeah, Gezzy, Charlie. So, you know my old neighbor, Charlie. I mean, great guy, Hungarian or Ukrainian. He was Ukrainian. And, just the coolest guy ever. I mean, he owned the AUP club,
What's that stand for?
Dude, I don't know. But it was cool. It was a club. And it was exclusive. And yeah, he was always just smoking big cigars and he had, candy bars, a bunch of big candy bars in his basement. It wasn't creepy, he was cool. He was cool. And yeah, every time I seen him in the morning he'd say, "What do you say, Dan?" And I never knew how to respond to that. Like, what do you say to that?
Well, what I say to you when you do it is I just ignore you.
Yeah,
So-
but you can't do that to Charlie.
Charlie with the candy bars.
Yeah, and but I never knew how to respond to that. But it was such a good saying, so I wanted to keep that alive in his memory because he's since passed, but I've been doing my part, keeping that alive.
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah.
Thanks for
So
telling it
with
to
all
me.
that,
for the 38th time.
let me just say this. What do you say?
Let's just do this, please.
What did you have on what's changed? Has anything changed since the last time
Not that I know of.
that we linked up? What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Isn't there just some recent no, I'm saying there's all kinds of stuff going on right now.
I mean, maybe in the world.
Yeah, in the world. Yeah.
The Olympics started.
That's right.
That's what started.
The Olympic Games. Yes. Yep. I mean the Olympics. So what yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, there is. It's a lot of crazy stuff. You know what's interesting? And I think we talked about this in the office before we get into all the tax stuff and whatever we're doing for today. I can't believe that we only give our gold medalists like 30 some $1,000 as a country. Kind of
Yeah,
makes me mad.
yeah,
You got other countries like giving housing and everything to these people, like to their winners, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Um,
dedicate your
yeah,
life to whatever you're doing for 4 years at least. 4 years of
yeah.
your life.
I mean, it's definitely. Yeah, I don't understand.
It's
Let's see,
crazy.
what was it? Yeah, it says gold medalists get like $37,000 for an American.
Wow.
Meanwhile, other
Unless they're
countries are
like,
giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars.
unless of course they're like, well, I mean Mike Phelps
I mean, they get endorsement deals and stuff
endorsements.
like that, but still, I mean, yeah. Through Project Gold, run by the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, U.S. athletes get $37,500 for winning a gold medal.
What a ripoff.
There was also a record set yesterday in the Olympics. A guy won his fifth gold medal in a row.
Wow.
Not like in one Olympic Games. He's competed in 5 different Olympics and won gold in 5.
Wow.
Um,
So he's got to be.
he's 40
I was gonna
something.
say he's old.
He's in his 40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh. Wow.
and wrestling.
I wonder.
It's
That seems like
Greco-Roman,
one
though.
of the ones.
So nothing below the waist. No single, double, all upper body in positioning. Yeah. I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like uh, thumb wrestling.
just with your full body.
60-year-old wins in thumb wrestling. Breaking news.
Yeah, Greco-Roman wrestling. Yeah, those are kind of boring to watch. I mean, I like wrestling, but watching those,
Yeah.
they kind of just stand there and it looks like sumo wrestling. They're kind
Yeah.
of just
It's such a but at least in sumo wrestling, they're doing something they got a diaper on, they got a big diaper or whatever. Like they're doing it a little bit differently.
something. Yeah.
They got a twist to it.
Okay. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit today was gonna try and stick with some tax stuff. Would probably be letters along with penalties for not filing or owing, and then interest.
Yeah.
So just going through that kind of a little bit. Me and you see it every day that
Yeah.
we're in the office. So for those of you who don't know, the IRS will communicate through letters. So if someone calls and says they're with the IRS and they need your credit card information or anything like that, to ignore it, because
Don't
that's not how the IRS gets
do
in touch with
that.
you. Um, but yeah, so when it comes to notices and bills, when they send you a notice, there's going to be a little date that they sent it on the top right, along with the letter ID, just the basic information. So almost all letters have the same setup. They're going to have the reason for the letter, a section for you to either write down if you disagree with what they say, whether they want to assess you a penalty or interest, or if they say you left income off your return. There's a section for you to write if you disagree, and you have to send it back. If you don't respond to these letters, they just assume that you're accepting it and you need to pay whatever's on there. But a lot of people ask how these penalties work and interest. So I mean, how often do we get in the office? Oh, I didn't file an extension. Am I gonna owe a penalty or interest? And they're getting a $3,000 refund. It's like,
Good.
yeah.
Good.
So
Yeah.
those extensions are really only for people who owe.
Yeah.
You're still gonna get an interest with an extension if you owe, but you're not gonna have to pay that penalty, which I'm
Not
getting
gonna
into.
be penalized.
Those penalizations are
well,
pretty big.
yeah. Nobody. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, I feel like people are getting. 'Tis the season for the letters too, so this is a good time. Um. Yeah. There's so many reasons. I'm trying to think of like the most common letter. I mean, I don't know if you could even possibly say what is the most common letter you see, except maybe, well, we get people that come in that, filed with like TurboTax or something in their previous years, and maybe they had didn't know where to put what, or some wages somewhere, or had some fat fingers, or.
I would say probably the most common ones. There's probably a couple. Once they file their tax return, eventually, whether it's late or when it's late, and then they pay their bill. Say we do it, tell them they owe $3,000, but hey, you're gonna get a penalty, just so you know, an interest. We can't calculate that. The IRS will do that. They go pay that $3,000. They're getting a letter once they pay it for the additional interest and penalty, and then they come back in all angry with a letter. You said I owe $3,000. Why do I owe more? And it's like, well, that's the additional penalties and interest that we said. Another one would be when people file and they owe and they pay it, but the IRS is a little delayed. So then they send out the bill for the exact same amount of money because they haven't processed that they got the payment yet because they don't communicate too well with the different departments. Third one would probably be leaving income off, most specifically stocks. Yeah.
Hey, I know
did that.
somebody. I know somebody guilty of that.
I did. My first year doing taxes, I did my own return and I left all my stocks off. Yeah. I just forgot.
You just amended it right away.
Yeah,
You
I
didn't get
amended
a
it.
letter or anything.
No, I didn't get a letter. I just amended it and we were good. But when you get the IRS stinks when it comes to those because they have their reported basis for everything, and what you reported you sold it for. Like Robinhood will do that. They'll send in, such and such sold $80,000 worth of stock. The IRS gets that, and they're just like, if you don't put that on your return, they just assume that 80 grand was all profit. So then when they send you your bill, you're sitting there looking at a $15,000 tax bill when you actually only made $200 on 80,000. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people forget to put that stuff on, but then you just have to follow the instructions on the letter. But
I'm super channeled in. I'm not distracted. I'm going to show you something here in a second.
Okay. Generally, just so people know, interest accrues on any unpaid tax from the due date of the return until the date of the payment in full. The interest rate is determined quarterly and is the federal short-term rate plus an additional 3%. The interest also compounds daily. So I pulled up this quarter. It's 8%. Compounded daily is what it is right now. 5.5% for the portion of a corporate overpayment exceeding 10 grand. 8% for underpayments. 10% for large corporation underpayments. Then along with that, you can get penalized. So in addition, if you file a return but don't pay it, so let's say you file before April 15th like you're supposed to, but don't pay it by April 15th, the failure to pay penalty is 1/2 of 1% for each month, or part of a month, which is up to 25%. So if you go long enough, you owe $1,000, you can get penalized $250 if you don't pay it. Then an additional, if you do not file on time, there's an additional penalty for the failure to file penalty. It's 5% of the tax owed for each month or part of the month that your return is late, up to another 25%. So you get $1,000 if you're negligent. Don't file, don't pay, wait a couple years.
Yeah.
You can get hit with a 50% penalty.
Now, and then and if somebody is gonna get basically, because you get this all the time, you get people that get a refund every year, and then they're like, "I haven't filed for 4 years," and
Yeah.
am I gonna get penalties? Am I gonna get?
No, so you won't get penalties or anything if you don't file and you're getting a refund. But you can only claim a refund for up to 3 years. So that fourth year, just out. We had a guy.
Can you still get the COVID relief money? People always want to go and reclaim that.
They can actually still claim it if they never got it. They still have a year to do it. But we had a guy who was supposed to be getting like a $4,000 refund, and he never paid us to send off his return. So,
as promised.
I said handwriting.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I read it, and I don't accept that.
I never said what type of apology.
Wow, real nice. Okay, this concludes.
I just don't get why you would try to sabotage. So this always confused me. Why would you try to sabotage a friend and colleague?
Why would you accuse someone of doing that?
Well,
who's your so-called friend and colleague?
If it looks
and
like
someone who's supposed to be bringing me and my fiance together
in holy matrimony. Listen, and this is something that I want to work out beforehand because, look, I don't know why people do what they do.
Well, I know why you do what you do.
Well, look, there's a lot of things that you can say. Why do I do what I do?
Wow. The reason you did what you did is because you don't like seeing other people succeed around you when you yourself are not succeeding.
Look. Guilty as charged.
Okay, exactly. Really grinding your gears.
Really grinds my gears.
And I enjoyed every second of it because I knew that's exactly what was going on.
It was just such a stroke of bad luck. Like, how do you, with things that are just out of my control,
It happens.
It happens. It happens. Yeah. Let's see. What's your what was I gonna say? I can't
find
remember.
it. What's your what?
I can't. I lost it. But all right. Yeah, so usually do you, when somebody comes in that gets a letter, does it typically result in amending?
It just depends on the letter. And like I said, if they agree with it, there's no point in paying us to amend their return if they realize they didn't, give us their stock information to put on their return, or if they. I mean, if you're getting a letter for penalties and interest, you're not amending anything, so.
Yeah.
You're just paying it.
Yeah.
Or gonna try and write a letter to get out of it, but I'm so sorry, it will never happen again. It was my first year owing, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really, that's it. It's good for people to know that they're not going to get penalized
Penalized.
penalized.
I think that's the
If they're not,
correct.
if they're getting a refund, they're not going to get penalized. But if they do think they're going to owe or it's going to be close, and they want to wait, you have to file an extension because that penalty can really hurt.
Yeah.
penalization.
And then even filing that extension, you're still going to get interest.
You'll still get interest, but the interest is minuscule compared to the, like I said.
Now, is that
it's
the proper
one half.
pronunciation of that as well?
What, minuscule?
Did you say minuscule or did you say minuscule?
I said minuscule.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to add to the IRS letters? Besides not to don't answer the phone if they say they're the IRS?
Yeah. No, I think that was pretty thorough. I mean, there's only a couple things you could do, and I would always recommend probably, well, what stinks is if you didn't, if you didn't file with like a local business where you can go in and have them work it out for you.
Yeah.
That's where it kind of stinks.
Mm-hmm.
And, but hopefully you did that.
One more thing. So if you get a letter, if you're ever worried that it's possibly a scam, go to irs.gov, create an account, and you can basically search your bills and your letters and stuff that you have received because they keep a copy of all that stuff online in your account. So if it looks a little sketchy, first thing I would say is go ask, your tax preparer.
Yeah.
We know what they look like. We'll be able to tell you if it's fake or not. Most likely. Second line of defense would just be creating an account. Like I said, takes a couple minutes. It's through your social and all that stuff. And then once you do that, it will let you know what letters they've sent out to you. So that way you can check to see if it's, real or not.
Yeah.
If you plan on dealing with your letters yourself and you try and call them, the IRS does have a phone number. Got to be prepared to sit there and wait all day. Recommend calling early in the morning as soon as you can and just be prepared to, have a cup of coffee, sit there at the table, put it on speaker and wait on hold.
Yeah.
Well,
and they're kind of like, I tell, sometimes I tell seniors this too, when they have to deal with Social Security. Sometimes you get an agent that just doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
There's so many. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to hang up on that person, because I've had and just some stories of people with misinformation from IRS agents, but a lot from Social Security. But you get the idea. Like, they can't possibly know every law and every rule to every special situation. And I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of process to figure it out, but agents don't always, they'll just spout something off.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the times, sometimes, we have to call clients when they sign a power of attorney and stuff, and
that's the best bet.
That's 5 to 7 minutes. 5 to 7 minutes. I'll look into that. 5 to 7 minutes, and that's all the agent says. And like you said, you can get a really helpful agent.
You want a tax professional to call for you.
Exactly.
You can get that glorified Manchurian liaison.
Yeah.
Well, let me just kind of hit you with this.
Or is that supposed to be an exit song or something?
It can be.
It's better than the one you played the first time.
So our name is Red, White, and You.
Yes, you.
Red,
not
White.
blue.
You.
Correct.
That's a Steven Tyler song.
Red, White, and You.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get him to.
Maybe we can get him. I think he would come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would definitely love that. Let me see. If I know Steven, and I think I do, he would love that.
He would not miss an opportunity like this.
Because, if you put in Red, White, yeah, he's not going to want to miss that. A chance to stay relevant?
That's just free advertising. Who wouldn't do that?
If you, when you do Red, White, and You, that's the only thing.
Song by Steven Tyler.
It's just a song by Steven Tyler. And then there's us.
Yeah. We're right there, right? We're actually above the song. Yep.
Wow. Yep. We've really been hitting the SEO. All right.
Okay. Well,
Well,
hopefully that was helpful for some people and they learned about some letters.
maybe.
Maybe
Maybe it was
not.
a snooze fest.
It might have been a snooze fest. We're both pretty tired.
All right.
Hey, Peaches.